Good morning, and good morning. My computer wants to bring in all of these things I don't need this morning. Look, I know I'm trying some other lipstick this morning. I know it's blue. It's not quite the blue as this, but anyway, good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing well. I've been rushing, this morning because I think I told some of you I'm going to be doing our Sunday school lesson on Sunday, and it starts off with this whole generational process, and that through the generations, there's always been something added, something left out, or something enhanced to the point where it's non-recognizable from the previous one or two generations back. So I'm going to be doing that on Sunday. But today I picked a word that I really think is kind of a cool word. It's probably not a word that we've used, and the original association was really with an insect, because a gadfly is an insect, but that's our word for today, gadfly. But we're going to use it as it is associated with people. You're gonna know some people that are probably gadflies. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Debbie. Debbie. Oh, how are you doing, my sweet friend? I love it when you come because I hate it when you're not here. Only because you add some texture. You are my lovely, lovely friend from years ago, and I appreciate you supporting this blog that I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we're going to get right into it this morning. Good morning, Calethea. Good morning. Good morning. I know others are coming. That kind of like to find out what the word of the day is. So today the word is gadfly, GADFLY. And it's one of those words that when you go to a lot of the advanced, vocabulary areas of books reference books that they have out there, it's in it. And I said, oh, that's a good word. It's really a good word because it's going to maybe open up to the idea that when people are talking to you and they're talking nonsense and they're talking, inciting you to not like them anymore, all of that plays into what a gadfly is. So anyway, let's get into it. I found this poem, and the poem says it's by Jim Narusky, and it says, Gadfly. It says, one in every crowd, strategically lurking, challenging authorities, quizzicality, who shuffles in chairs uncomfortably, hearing analysis delivered so ambly, like boulders falling in the avalanche, one to hit culpable nerves by chance. And morning editorial features highlight to this concerned person's absolute delight, like an annoying horsefly on the rear, perhaps leading to headlines smear. I love it. I love it. I was trying to say, I said, well, because most of the time, as I said it, gadflies mean an insect. So to hear that this is what a gadfly is as a person, do you not know some? I know some gadflies. I know some people that have to have the last word, to continually talking to you when the conversation, as far as you're concerned, is over. But they continue to add comment and insight, try to get you irritated, upset, riled, all of that. That's what a gadfly is. So anyway, it says, what is the role of the gadfly? It said the role of the gadfly is to stir up, to horse it up, which is all a bit a noble, well-bred creature. Okay, so this word came back, and I think it said in the 1500s. It just came when people just decided that they didn't like the rhetoric that someone was talking, so they decided to add their own rhetoric to the additional conversation, to add to it, to make you frustrated about it, angry about it, incited about it, whatever. It says, in other words, whenever there was a risk of the city becoming too complacent, the gadflies would swing. It says, where they would buzz or they would go into action. I mean, I can imagine it. Can you imagine ever being in places where you actually witness people being like a gadfly? We just didn't know what to call them. except a nuisance. But anyway, it says a gadfly is a person who interferes with the status quo of a society or of a community by sometimes they post novels, they potentially are have upsetting questions. Doesn't it sound familiar? Like people we hear nowadays? It says usually directed at authorities, but sometimes directed at you, they might perceive as someone who has authority. It says the term is originally associated with the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates. And it says if you refer to someone as a gadfly, you believe that they deliberately annoy, challenge other people, especially people in that, as I said, authority. So it's really an interesting concept. When I found that in collinsdictionary.com, I found that it says a person is it one who persistently annoys or provokes others with criticism, schemes, ideas, demands, and requests. Do you know any? It says they're constantly irritating, harassing people. I mean, I just think of all the people I've met through my years that fit that. I never had a word for them except they were a nuisance. But I never had a word for them, but now I do. And so do you. You can call them a gadfly. That the gadfly can move along and go to another bush, flower, whatever, but don't stay and hang around you. So anyway, when I went to the I think I was on Collins Dictionary, it says a gadfly is annoying, especially one who provokes others into action by criticism and political gadflying rhetoric. It says, and that was just written in August 17, 2024. Where it says, or it refers to someone who provokes or annoys other people, especially by persistent criticism. So they constantly are bugging, constantly putting stuff in your ear. And I think my opening statement today online was that, a gadfly may be this person that you can hear them talking to somebody else and praying that they don't come to you. But next thing they find you as well. Good morning, Miss Rosie. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Today our word is gadfly, meaning somebody that's just an annoying person that keeps talking about whatever they want to talk about and hoping they will rile you up. It says one who is obnoxiously annoying. Okay, obnoxiously annoying. It says it's also one who's a prompter, an instigator. It says that they're also an agitator, an annoyer, a pest. I love that word, just pest. It's real short, pest. Or they could be one who teases, one who is a persuader in every way possible. They're trying to persuade people to do something. They want to inflict pain, and it's going to be like an emotional pain. They're not physical, generally speaking. It's an emotional pain. They may be hecklers. Like if you're a person that speaks out in public, they may be the one in the audience challenging you. Well, what I know more than you. Okay, that kind of thing. They may be a tormentor. A gangster. I love it. A gangster. They could be a gangster. They could be a gangster. And it says that they're also ones who feel that they're going to be your interpreter, and they hassle people. So pretty much that's what they do. Now, when I broke my word down this morning, and I'm going to ask you this question: if you ever have known a gadfly, put a yes G in the thread there. Yes G. That's all you have to write. I know them. So a gadfly starts with a G, and it says, for me, I put mine as gnawing like something that's eating away. Okay. It says as consumed or wearing away gradually. It just keeps annoying you with whatever it has to say. Okay. Debbie said, okay. So I said gnawing for my G, which means that it's eroding, it's going to be crowding, biting at, and it's going to be fretting, just making sure that they stay on your ever-loving nerve. I know them. I remember my daughter being a gadfly when she was coming up when I wouldn't do what she didn't want done. I would just tell her, go on, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And she'd come back, she'd think of something else. But I, hey. Also, knowing also talks about how things are, they attempt to destroy, and they are destroying, ruining, and distinguishing themselves above others by their opinion, pushing you. They're pushing you, pushing you wherever they can go. A gag order. You can only have a gag order if it's legal, Debbie. Okay, when I move on in my word of gadfly, my A today is for agitator. They are that. They are agitating personalities. It says they are the rebel to making sure that they are the persons who stir up anything and causing, especially says in public feelings, meaning they'll do it to you anywhere. You whatever's going on, they're gonna let you know that it's not to their satisfaction. So therefore, they're going to bug you about it or bug the conversations that are going on around it. Um, we've had people like that. They have a great vocabulary and they want to put themselves in a position of being superior to anyone else that may be in the mix, in the group, in the audience, in the stadium, wherever it is. They're going to present themselves. So the agitator is the rebel. They are the supporter of something. They are the insurgent, meaning they just planting themselves just so they can see what they can see and get what they can get and then tell it. I wish my computer would stop sending me crazy stuff in the middle. Oh, gruesome, yes. Gruesome is a really good word. Um, the agitator is also somebody who may be a protester. They may be protesting whatever's going on. It says they may be an inciter, a rebel rouser, a troublemaker, an extremist. Sometimes we meet people that no matter where you're at, they're going to be on the opposite side of wherever you are, and wherever the majority is, they're going to just plant the seed that you need to be thinking about this, not what you're thinking about, but what I'm telling you is important. The aggressor, that's good. An aggressor is great. Trouble, and then I said, the extreme unhinged. Sometimes you find that these people are unhinged. They will go off for no reason, just because they decided that you're thinking wrong, you're believing wrong. You should be believing what I'm thinking and what I believe. Well, I believe everybody needs to have their own ideas, and they act on them the way they want to, from politics to religion to even their choices of food. That's their business. I was someplace not long ago, and somebody was getting something to eat, and another woman came up to them and they said, "Oh, you shouldn't be eating that." Even if you think it, sometimes what you think should not be delivered as a conversation to someone who didn't invite you in, and therefore unnecessary. But every once in a while, you will meet people like that. So the agitator is also someone who ruffles. They intend to ruffle the feathers. Whatever's going on, they're going to ruffle it, get it in there. Good morning, Joan. How are you? Abrasive, yes. Yes, because sometimes, people that are really are these gadflies are, they're going to be abusive. They're going to be, and arrogant. Oh, these are all good. Argumentative, yes. They want you to tell it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Very much. We moving on in our word of gadfly. We talk about the D. My D is for someone who's a demagogue, excuse me, which is also an agitator. They're an agitator. Good morning, good morning. Gadfly is the word, Ardelia. Gadfly. Somebody that's out there just trying to run your business, talking to you, regardless of the fact that you invited them into a conversation, they're there. And so we already did gnawing. I had gnawing, agitator, and now on demagogue, which is also an agitator, a person who stirs up in public. They're not private people. These folks aren't private. They're going to be very public. Okay, demented, dauntless, yes. Also demeaning, because they said a lot of times a gadfly means to take you from where you are down to another level to let you know that they're superior in terms of what they know, how they act, and where they're at. A deception. Ooh, that's good. A deterrence. Yes. Yes. And that means that they're trying to take you from where you are. That's true. That's true, Ardelia, and take you someplace else. You're here, they want to take you over there, even though you didn't ask them. It says they stir things up in public, especially something that is considered to be discounted or contradictory to what is being taught or what is being spoken. That's how they do it. Hey, sharing a deflector. Absolutely. Deflector, deflator. I mean, there's a lot of D's. There's a lot of D's. And they also say they're proponents of something. Obviously, maybe not what you're thinking, but they want you to think like they're thinking. So there it is. It says they're protesters. They have an idea where they champion a certain thing. They said they're inciters. Somebody that just they're planning, they're trying to get a fire going. Can you imagine that they're doing that? A Debbie Downer. Debbie Downer. Yes, that's really good. Debbie, you're not a Debbie Downer, but that's true. They also said that they're reformers, rebel rousers, and a firebrand. All of those folks mean to set off something that ignites in a way that changes where you are to where they're thinking, or at least they have to let you know that you're not thinking right. Even if you're not going to move, they're going to argue. Thank you. Thank you all. My F in my gadfly word today is for fretting. Fretting is when something is just corroded. Okay. It's corroded, almost like fraying, but it's fretting. Fallacy. That's really good, Joan. It is a fallacy. Yes. We say when something is fretting, that means it is eroding to consume or wear away gradually. When people keep talking to you. I used to have somebody come and stand at my desk and they were a much higher grade than I was at the time. And they'd stand at my desk and I'm thinking, and I'm only getting so-and-so an hour, and they done used 2 hours here talking to me. That's what my mind would be thinking, but because they were my superior, I didn't say anything. But I had it in my head that it's crazy that this person is talking to me. But, once again, they're trying to let you know that they have this latitude and longitude of being able to do what they want to do, including telling you what they want you to know. Fake is good. The fretting also is when something is being eaten away at. It's being gnawed. It's being bitten. It's nibbled away, destroyed. It is ruining, and it's something that decomposes. Good morning, my niece in New York. Hey, sweetie, how are you? Love you. Then they also say it's fictitious. Okay, that's a great word. I like that purple lipstick. Actually, it looks purple, but I put it on. It was blue, so my my lips done added something. They done added something to it, but it started out as being blue. I thought I was matching it to my outfit, but anyway, look. Anyhow, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much, though. So anyway, once we move further on in our word of gadfly, a gadflyer lampoons people, publicly criticizing someone or something. Lampoon by using ridicule, irony, or sarcasm. Have you met anybody like that? Come on now. I know I have. Okay. They say that they're people who will mock things. They'll satirize things. They'll ridicule. They'll make fun of. They poke fun of. They're there. Foolish Foolish is good for the F. What do you have for your L when something has been? I said lampooned. Now I gotta admit, gadfly is a weird word. So finding something that's really relatable, that means you're going into, your dictionaries and your thesauruses to figure out, well, what else is out there? Foul. That's right. Foul. They're a foul individual. Doesn't that sound like me? I say that all the time, especially if the food ain't right. Okay. Jones says a liar. Yes, they are a liar. That's a perfect word. They are. They're lying to themselves. And of course, they got an audience, you, where they're lying to you, trying to make themselves better. That makes themselves better. I personally have met people who I felt were like lampoonish because they kept coming. You say, well, no, I'm not interested. They kept coming. It's like the salesman who keeps trying to sell you something. You say you don't want it. They still there. You say you don't want it. No. Well, eventually well, first of all, they can't get in my house. And that was prior to COVID. They couldn't get up in here. So since COVID, it's even worse. I don't know what they bring it in with them, so can't come. But anyway, for me, lampoon just says that you mean to try to destroy where I am on what I talk about and what I believe in. Loudmouth. Ooh, remember that loudmouth bass? Remember they had him on the wall? Okay. That hasn't been that long. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that little thing, that fish. Then it's also a lampooner is also someone that they basically can caricature. They've decided that they're going to make themselves something that they're not, but then also make you something that you're not, which is conforming to what it is they believe. They said that they do parody, they rag on people, they tease, and they basically are there to persuade. They're interested in how can I sway this person from where they are to someplace else. And I look at it, in politics. I look at it in, what I would call the games of money, finance. You're going to make, if you give this much money, you're going to have that much money in terms of growth in 6 months. And, you find out that they're scamming your money. So that kind of thing. So all of those things would be like a lampooning, a loser. That's perfect too. That's perfect. They are losers. My why, I got through this pretty fast today. This is good for me. My why is Friday. Y'all need to have a break. Is for yapper, a lumpy. I like that word lumpy. Although I probably associate it with my area that I have some few lumps. But a yapper is a person who talks excessively, often about unimportant things. They're unimportant because you're not interested in them. So that could easily be a gadfly. Easily. If you're not interested in something and you tell them, well, I have something else to do, and they continue to talk, okay, they're starting to get into the yapper kind of frame of mind, and they need to go, but they don't always do it. So a yapper is also when a person's mouth, especially one that gossips or talks too much. A person that would probably be a gadfly is talking too much because you didn't invite the conversation, and they have something that they're criticizing. It may be leadership. It may be the clothes you have on. It may be the food that you're eating, but they're there for a purpose of letting you know that you're not fitting up to what they believe to be necessary. And therefore they're letting you know. And they may do it in a yapping kind of thing, because you ever hear the voice like on Peanuts with the teacher? Okay, that kind of thing where you try to tune them out, but they're still there. I used to have a guy, he'd still be there, and I'm still trying to work. I'm like, okay, because I have to and then finally I would say I have a suspense date. I have to get out something by X day, X time. And he'd never leave easily, till I finally had to get up and go to leave to come before I came back to my desk, So yield. Yes, yield would be good, meaning I yielded. I went away and said, I'm done with it. Good morning, Kiwanis. How are you? This was a great word. Gadfly is a great word. You know, instead of telling somebody that somebody's gossiping and they say, look, the gadfly just needs to go. Okay, that's a good way to use it. I've heard enough of the gadfly. We just letting people know that sometimes people come in and they get on your nerves with what they have to discuss. So a person that's a yapper is someone that, especially gossip, talks too much. They're a blabber or a babbler, excuse me. They're a babbler or a blabber. They're a blowhard. Mm, zap. Ooh, 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 ooh. They can be a zap. And sometimes we need to zap them. They could be a chatterbox, a gas bag. I said, ooh, gas bag. A gossiper, loudmouth. Did somebody say loudmouth? Debbie, did you say loudmouth earlier? Um, Somebody that's a whining all the time. Yeah, everything, there's a complaint about every single thing that goes on, you know, every single thing. A yeller, yes. Somebody that yells all the time. Because, you know, I've been in conversations where when I didn't get, I really got it. When I didn't conform, that's a better way. When I didn't conform to what the conversation was about and in my belief, oh, they acted up to the point where they got their voice got louder and louder and more loud. And I'm thinking, he's screaming at me. She's screaming at me. Oh, conversation over. Sometimes you have to be the one to get away from whoever this gadfly is. If it's a woman, man, doesn't matter. Could be a child could be a gadfly because you're not giving them what they want. So they're going to keep talking, you know. And I used to put my daughter, say, oh, time to go to your bedroom. You know, I'm done with it. We're not doing that. That's it. You know, and after a while, after she cried, she come on back out. I said, oh, now we can talk. Don't talk about what I said we weren't doing, because that we're not doing. Now we can talk about anything going forward. So sometimes you have to set the stage for how somebody that has the tendency to be a gadfly speaks to you. Then I have a tattletale is also somebody that could be a yapper and therefore a gadfly. Tattletale. Ooh, did you see what happened? Oh, did you? They're the first to tell it. They're going to run to you and let you know. Someone got fired. Someone got hired. Somebody, they have to be the one to tell the story. And then they're going to enhance it with all the things that, how it turned out, how it fell upon everybody, where it came from, you know. So anyway, gadfly is my word of the day. Quite interesting, I should add, only because I'd known gadflies and didn't know that that's what I could call them. I just said, "Ooh, such an annoying person." But gadfly just kind of sums it all up. It's right there. You don't have to say that they're a nuisance or anything. Well, the gadfly conversation is over, and be done with it. That's how you can address it. That's how you can address it. But listen, have a wonderful weekend. Let me know if you run across any gadflies. Write it down. Just say, yeah, gadfly number one. You'll find that there's probably many of them. There's many of them that have something to tell you that you're not interested in hearing, especially if they're trying to convince you to do something. You know, spend money, go someplace, do something. You know, switch from A to B. They're there. That's their purpose. But yes, but have a wonderful weekend. Listen, if you don't do anything else, share this video. Let people know Dr. Winnie is here. I'm just going to have a little fun with some words so that you can therefore take those words and have a conversation with anyone, from a child to someone high up in the world of, I guess at that time it would be statute. But anyway, enjoy yourself, be safe, you know. Thank goodness that, Helen didn't come here. Good morning, Volta. How are you? You can control it. That's right. That's right. Right. Blessings to all. Thank you, God, for Helen not coming here. And I'm praying for those where it did go. Okay. Be safe, everybody. Love you. See you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.